She's inspecting all of my materials. What about the clippers? Do they smell okay? What about this? Smells okay? Okay. You approve? Are you still mad at me? Thank you. Sorry. Start over. Hello, and welcome to this week's weekly parcel arranging video. Moving is exhausting. We have been full throttle for the last week trying to get our new space in order and moving out of our old space. So this week I'm going to use the weekly parcel arranging video as my moment of meditation and therapy. I've got my spritz going and I'm going to light an incense, and I'm luckily working with some really cool colors. I've got this vase by Frank, a friend of ours from the farmer's market who now lives in Vermont. And I've got some nods to spring happening this week. This is called Finger Mimosa Acacia, and it's got some nice yellow blooms, but it also acts as a beautiful foliage. We have leucadendron, which this variety is called Winter Sunshine. And then we've got some tulips and some ranunculus. Let's get started. So I'm going to start with my acacia and using my base to measure, per usual. With these kinds of stems, you can always try to make them into two pieces. That way, if you don't have a bud vase you're going into, you're making the most of what you've got for the arrangement you're working with. With woodies, anything that is a tough stem usually comes from a tree or a bush. You want to give it more opportunity to hydrate by cutting up into the stem or smashing it with a hammer. I prefer cutting up into it. So now it exposes all of this surface area for it to hydrate. You don't want to leave any foliage under that water level, especially in an opaque vase, because you might not be as aware of the water getting dirty. I don't have my Lazy Susan. I packed it up and took it to the store, so we're working static today. Leucadendron's another one that if you're working in a smaller vessel, you could divide it into multiple stems and, use this piece as one and then this piece as another. It's not long enough for me to do that here, and I want to add some height to this arrangement. And then you can have some moments that go a little higher, but they should be softer moments. It's just more visually pleasing, but that rule can also be broken. So like everything with artwork, just take it with a grain of salt, which I have right there. Leucadendron's also the best for stripping because it all just comes right off. It doesn't hurt your hand at all. It's a really forgiving flower. And it also has such beautiful texture and stays so upright and it's very hardy. And this one especially has beautiful outlines of red with yellow. And then the outlines are still present on the green leaves as well. I've got my leucadendron at different levels. With this mimosa, I'm going to sacrifice these guys. And you might need to use clippers for them, so pretty tough. Because I want a moment of mimosa up high. So that's going to sit there for now, and I'm probably going to adjust it as I go. That way it's not such a hard contrast of all the mimosa at the bottom and none of it up top. So now I'm going to go in with my focal flowers and look at this tulip. It's still kind of green. I wanted to balance out this taller mimosa, but I still want to keep it interesting by having it at a different level, even though they're hanging out together up here. So I've just decided I want to make this one side dominant, which means it'll still be enjoyable from all the way around, but I really want one side to be my focal moment, and that's the side I'm looking at right now. So I can work to really not perfect, there's no perfection in art, but another thing with tulips is as they age, unlike most flowers, they continue to grow. So I might put this here now, in a couple days it'll have grown a few more inches. It's also going to go toward the light, so it's in this position now at this height. If the light's over here, it'll shift up toward the light and grow a couple inches. All right, last but not least, my ranunculus. I really want these to be like little butterflies floating around because they're the only pure white thing I have. They're also, right now, they're at different stages, but some of them are still really tight. So I like seeing them as like little fairies around the arrangement. So I'm gonna distribute them a bit. Let some of them come off to the side. So that's that. As the days go on, I'll keep an eye on it and change out the water. If my tulips get a little higher than I want them, I'll just give them a trim. Well, I feel much more relaxed. We're working hard to open the space in the next couple of weeks. Until then, take care.